So a few days ago, I reviewed the Mastering Dynamic MW07 Go's. And even though those earbuds have a very solid foundation, I just find it very hard to justify getting them at their $200 price point when compared to the rest of the competition. But today we're going to be checking out the Mastering Dynamic MW07 Plus, which have a whole bunch of important upgrades that were missing from the MW07 Go's. But again, even though these earbuds have a very solid foundation to them, I just find it very hard to justify getting them compared to the rest of the competition. So the MW07 Plus retails for $300, which right off the bat I think is a lot to pay for any pair of truly wireless earbuds. But for comparison, the Sennheiser Momentums also retail for $300, but they can usually be found for around $230 these days, cause the Momentum True Wireless 2s with active noise cancellation are right around the corner. AirPods Pro retail for $250 and the Sony WF-1000 XM3s retails for $230. Now, even though the MW07 Plus are decent, personally, I think that the AirPods Pro, Sennheiser Momentum, and Sony WF-1000 XM3s are all better options to consider when compared to the MW07 Plus. But if you want to pick up any of the earbuds mentioned in this video, they'll be linked down below. Now, first, let's talk about this carrying case, because it's perhaps the most unique thing about these earbuds. This carrying case is a stainless steel case with a mirror finish. Besides looking awesome, this carrying case is also pretty dense when compared to most other cases of a similar size, weighing in at 84 grams. Personally, I love this case, but I would hate to get a scratch in my pocket or just drop it because this case is both very slippery and a fingerprint magnet. That's why I always keep this case inside the included case carrying pouch, which feels a lot like denim. Now, from a technical standpoint, this case ticks off all the right boxes. It's decently small, so it's not too noticeable when you have it in your pocket, but it's not as small as the AirPods Pro case or standard AirPods case. The earbuds magnetically attach themselves to the case, and the lid is very easy to open and close. My only critique here is that the hinge on this lid feels a little flimsy, and as a result, the lid does like to wobble a little bit. Now, this isn't a big deal, and this detail may seem trivial, but when you're spending the big bucks on any product, you expect the build quality and finish to be top-notch. But more importantly, this carrying case charges via a USB-C port, which is great if you're an Android user. And unfortunately, I still gotta point this out because some companies still insist on using a micro USB port on some of their newer products. Now, these earbuds have an advertised combined battery life of 40 hours, where the earbuds themselves can go for 10 straight hours and the case can supply an additional 3 full charges. And this carrying case also has some fairly impressive fast charging numbers. If you drop these earbuds into their carrying case for 15 minutes from a dead battery, they're going to get you a 50% charge. So that's 5 hours of battery life. So overall, these earbuds have exceptional battery life, especially when you take the size of their carrying case into consideration. Because for comparison, even though the Sony WF-1000 XM3s have an advertised combined battery life of 30 hours, it's not all that impressive because their carrying case is huge compared to either these earbuds, the Sennheiser Momentums, or the AirPods Pro. Now, when it comes to the earbuds themselves, overall they fit very well. But I do want to point out that the ear tips on these earbuds are very wide. I usually wear medium ear tips, but with these, I gotta size down to their small ones. Now, these earbuds fit like your standard in-ear earbuds. They go into your ear canal, but they don't go in super deep like the Sony WF-1000 XM3s do, which personally I'm not a fan of. But they also don't just rest right at the edge of your ear canal like the AirPods Pro do. Now, as someone who's not the biggest fan of in-ear earbuds in general, I do prefer the AirPods Pro when it comes to overall comfort. But regardless, the MW07 Plus fit like the Sennheiser Momentums do. But they also have additional ear fins, which just help keep them locked down. Now, when it comes to tech specs, one of the biggest differences between the MW07 Go's and the MW07 Plus is that the Plus has a dual connection setup. So just like with the AirPods Pro or Sony WF-1000 XM3s, if you just want to use one earbud at a time, you can use either one. You don't got to worry about selecting the correct earbud. Whereas with both the MW07 Go's and Sennheiser Momentums, they're both using a Hero and Sidekick setup, where one earbud actually connects to your phone, and then relays that signal over to the other earbud. Now, this isn't a huge deal, especially on the MW07 Go and Sennheiser Momentums, because they both have very solid Bluetooth connections, and they're both suitable for watching videos on your phone. But if you just want to use one earbud at a time, you gotta use the correct earbud. In this case, the right earbud. But circling back to the MW07 Plus, when it comes to performance, these earbuds have zero latency across the board when watching movies or videos on your phone, whether you're using an Android device or iPhone. But just keep in mind, if you're using an iPhone, these earbuds are going to be using SBC, but if you're an Android user, they're going to be using aptX. But when it comes to listening to music with these earbuds, first off, these earbuds sound identical to the $200 MW07 Go's. Now, just like with the MW07 Go's, these earbuds have a very impressive soundstage, and the bass on them is very tight. But personally, I just don't like Mastering Dynamics' sound signature. I feel that the mids and vocals are a little pushed back, and as a result, they easily get overpowered by the bass. Personally, I just wish Mastering Dynamic had a companion app so that I could bring the mids out a little bit on these guys. Personally, I still think that if you're looking for a pair of great sounding earbuds, then the Sennheiser Momentums are still the way to go. They have a very balanced sound signature, their instrument separation is very impressive, and the bass on them actually resonates. And then the Sony WF-1000 XM3s are a close second. But I do feel comfortable saying that the MW07 Plus sounds significantly better than the AirPods Pro. Now, even though the AirPods Pro have a brighter sound signature, which is something that I wish these earbuds have, the instrument separation and the quality of the bass on the AirPods Pro just doesn't compare to these. But the MW07 Plus has some very important features that I feel were missing from the MW07 Go's. First off, they actually have proximity sensors, which is a very standard feature on most other truly wireless earbuds. But more importantly, they actually have an ambient mode. And the ambient mode on these earbuds is very decent. It sounds very natural, and these earbuds do a very good job of preventing wind noise. Now, they don't do as good of a job as the AirPods Pros do, but you gotta get caught in a pretty strong gust at just the right angle for you to hear any wind noise with these earbuds. But the last major feature on these earbuds is that they have active noise cancellation. And plainly said, if active noise cancellation is a big deal to you, then I wouldn't pick these earbuds up, period. I just don't notice any meaningful amount of noise getting blocked out with these earbuds. Both the Sony WF-1000 XM3s and AirPods Pro block out significantly more noise than these earbuds do. But finally, here's the microphone test. There's a little bit of static in the background and it does sound a little shallow, but it doesn't sound that bad. I just wish these earbuds did a slightly better job of isolating just your voice. So overall, the MW07 Plus are decent in their own right. They have great build quality, both the earbuds and case. They have an extraordinary battery life to case size ratio. They have solid Bluetooth connectivity, and their ambient mode is very decent as well. But at the end of the day, I still find it very hard to justify getting these earbuds over the competition. If you're looking for amazing sound quality, then both the Sennheiser Momentums and Sony WF-1000 XM3s sound better than the MW07 Plus. And remember, they're both going for $230, which is $70 less. And if active noise cancellation is a big priority for you, then both the AirPods Pro and WF-1000 XM3s block out significantly more noise. I really think Mastering Dynamic has a lot of potential, but right now I just find it very hard to justify getting the MW07 Plus. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit that like button and get subscribed. It helps out more than you realize. If you want to pick any of the products up mentioned in this video, those will be linked in the description down below, and you can also support the channel by checking out the merch store. But other than that, I'll catch you next time.